world, WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. So, I haven't been doing EEPower episodes for quite a while, and that was because I wanted to focus on Resonant Rise, and, well, it felt a bit better for some reason for me, and, well, playing on a server is quite a fun experience. If you haven't played on any server before, I highly recommend it. It does allow for a lot of creative ingenuity, but I think it is time to play a bit more EE Power on our single player world because, frankly, why not? We have this world, we got so much stuff done that it'd be really a shame if we weren't to do this anymore. So let's actually start with a few things. What do I want to talk about? Yes. So I'm going to pretty much have this as almost like a pilot episode. Not really a pilot episode, but let me know if you want to have EE Power back. I know that a bunch of people do want to see their regular broadcast EE Power. But speaking about EE Power, the name itself is a bit of a well, it's a bit of a problem because Red Power. Red Power may not, and that was a very high jumping squirrel, and I just fell. Great. Red Power is not likely to be in the 1.6 packs. I'm not entirely sure how LRAM is doing with that, but, well, I'm going to have to start thinking about a name change, or I might just keep the name because EE Power has been with me for, well, this is our fourth season, actually fourth and a half season because of that little 2.5 season. We'll want to look at that very soon. So let's actually get started. Now I'm planning to update to the newer edition of the mod pack, not the 1.5.21, don't worry about that. And the one problem that I currently have is the fact that, well, this reactor is not going to work for when we want to go onwards to that. Now, there are a few solutions for that. However, it's just so annoying having to think about all that stuff that we're going to have to do. But, what I think it's probably best to do is utilize the amount of energy we currently have in this little pocket of fuel. Haha, see what I did there? No? Okay, neither did I. And we're going to want to use this for a bit betterness. Anyway, so how are we going to do that? Well, we should have some diesel cells already cooked up, and they should be in the system, right? So let's check. Once we have our diesel cells, and once we have our glycerol, we have to utilize utilize the glycerol cells, and we can either use coal fuel or we can use diesel cells with a chemical reactor and get nitro diesel, which is a lot more efficient. Now I'm thinking we can probably just pack our remaining diesel that we have right now and use that. And actually this chemical reaction is very simple to pull off. So let's see. We need one more space in our chemical reactor. We have 5 currently there, and our transformers are good. Okay, so let's go pop another chemical reactor. We're going to need... Wow, it's been so long since... I kind of feel giddy about playing this again. It's nice. Okay, chemical reactor. We're going to need to craft one of those. We're also going to need to get a few buses. Let's go with 2 of those and 1 of those, and eventually we might as well just craft a whole lot of them. And we're also going to need a level emitter, right? Which we already have. Okay, so let's set up our level emitter. Oh, yeah, right. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Actually, do we even need a level emitter in this system? I'm not entirely sure. Actually... Now, here's a question that you always want to ask yourself when you're making a system such as this. How much is enough? And that really explains if you say anything other than all of it, my friend, then you're going to want a level emitter. However, I don't really need a level emitter if I'm not really going to require that sort of stuff. So let's get our chemical reactor that is finally precipitated through the system, and we shall precipitate. Oh, lordy, if you're not a chemist, you probably don't know what the hell I just said. But that doesn't really matter. Okay, just in case, we'll put this active without signal in the future. And we're going to want two things. We're going to want glycerol, glycerol. Gliss. We got 25 gliss, my friend. How much glycerol is this system set for? Is it set for anything? Oh, I have to check here. It's set for one. Yay. Well, that's going to be quick. And we're going to want the top one to be glycerol. And then that should be sufficient to kickstart the system again. Let's eat one of those nom noms. And now we're going to need one more thing. We're going to need one more thing, and that is going to be the what? The what? The what? No, I refuse. Oh my gosh. That's a lot. That's a lot of diesel. And we're going to need to set it onto the bottom one. And set. There we go. And now we only need one more thing, and that is to finish off this little plethora of madness and go like that. And now this system is off like a shot, or off like a hot pocket. Hot pocket! Get your hot pocket here! Sigh! And we got a lot of nitrocarbon and water. That's fine. We get the nitrocarbon from this, so we need more carbon and nitrogen. Good. And good, I suppose. Hey, let me see this, thanks. And I think this is good. Okay, so we got everything that we seem to need. And now we're going to get that fancy hot stuff. Speaking about fancy hot stuff, we're going to want to throw this stuff away since we're not currently going to need it for quite some time. But we are going to need some bread because this sorry little piece of sod is not exactly going to get us anywhere. Speak about not getting anywhere. So we have a bit of a problem. That energy source is not going to be allowed pretty much in the future, and we're going to want to be able to have a better energy source. So the question is, do we want to keep this sort of energy source, or are we going to want to go for something else, which is a main bit of a problem. I don't even think we're able to put this new fuel. Let's check the glycerol again. I don't even think we can take this chemical and put it in anything. Oh, we can. Liquid nitro diesel. If that's the case, does liquid nitro diesel actually feed into there? That is a good... Nitro diesel. I'm going to be back in my test world. I want to test that, and then, well, I'll be back. Okay, I just tested in a test world. Wow, where else are you going to test something like that? Major technological innovations brought to you by Way of Time. Yay. Anyway, so I tested in a test world, and apparently it is not, I might as well get out cheat mode. It is not at all possible for you to, let's see, that's oil input. It's not possible to put nitrodiesel currently in this build. It might be changed in the future. You can't put nitrodiesel into a steam boiler in its liquid form. It is not at all possible. So we are not going to be able to feed a boiler with this sort of technology, which is a bit of a shame. However, we are going to be able to feed other things. Let's just check if this is still running. Yes, it is, and it'll be able to purify 64 more, so a stack more of ingenuity and reason. Seriously? So, now we have a bunch of diesel cells, and that is fine. but there's one more thing that we're probably going to want to do. Actually, hmm. What I want to set up is pretty simple. We obviously have a lot of fuel there. Wait a second. There's another thing I want to test. Let's get a diesel generator quickly and a liquid transposer and probably take some of the, well, I have an energy tesseract, so that's fine. So liquid transposer, get, and we're going to want to get, what is it? A diesel generator. Bam! And that's going to take a bit of time, so let's just grab one of these. What I want to do is quite simple. I want to be able to take the liquid from here, like from the big fuel tank that we have in the overworld. I was trying to point it over there, but obviously it's not there. And feed it through this liquid tesseract and throw it into here so that I can get a bunch of diesel going. However, there is only one slight problem with that. When will it stop? And that is an easy enough thing to do if we were to put this here and spin it around. Okay, so this one, and set this so that it's only enabled low. What we want is that this will only send fuel to this tesseract only, and I mean only, when I have a little amount. Basically, how can we explain this in a succinct possible solution way thing? Yes, we only want a certain number of nitrodiesel cells. So if we were to say 64 nitrodiesel cells and pretty much stop putting stuff in at that point, that will be nice. Maybe bump it up to 128. But it's still emitting redstone. Do I have that many nitrodiesel cells? I can't possibly have that many already. Oh, wow. Yeah, that certainly works fast. Oh, my lord. My lord, my lord. And how much diesel do we have? Anyways, we should probably get our... Oh, we don't have any diesel left. Huh. We should test this out. So, liquid tesseract right here. And we're going to want to output liquid with the tesseract and throw it into here. So let's get our base energy going and set this to base energy. Good. And now we'll just need that diesel cell. Yeah. And throw it in here. So if this, basically what I want to see is if the diesel cell, if I throw the liquid in here, if it actually generates energy. So let's go like that. Oh, ho! Ah, that is perfect. That is perfect. Okay, so let me rethink this strategy. Then we can move onwards because this is going to need a bit of thinking. Basically, we can have this stored as a liquid, and we can then transport that liquid through any sort of such means like this. But the only problem is, how do we want to... We can probably store them... Be right back. Huh, it's like some sort of garden mosh party over there. Let's just count them. Let's see, 1, 2. Let's not count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A dozen furry animals in there. That is kind of... That's something. That's certainly something, and I guess I might as well give them credit. Okay, so there are a few options that we have available. Now, option 1, and a little costly, is, well, nitrodiesel. Let's check the nitrodiesel. And are we able to... No, that's a nitroglycerin. We don't have any bucket for nitrodiesel. So, what we can do is... I'm going to lose this stuff anyways, so I might as well just throw it in. What we can do is actually... Yeah, it'll only take one bucket of stuff if we were to throw it into there. So that's fine and everything. Or we could do with the similar setup that we had before, but that would mean that we'd have to destroy this lattice structure if we were to migrate to nitro diesel, and it does 12 EU per tick anyways, so So the question is, do we really want to make the switch to nitro diesel? I suppose we could, though is there any real merit in it? Okay, so nitro diesel, I'm gonna have to debate this, and actually, changing the lattice isn't that difficult of a thing. It's only having to do this stuff. So what I think I'm gonna do is a pretty simple operation. I'm going to shut this power source down, quite simply. And that is by, we're going to have to turn this thing off. Or rather turn, this thing, yay. Okay, now we have that router not routing. And we won't actually re-add this stuff. This stuff will go into the void. So what we're going to want to do is set this all up to go through an item tesseract to just go outwards. Do we have an item tesseract currently at our disposal? I don't think we do. Oh, we do. 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 Okay, so with that, we can then just simply take this and set this to storage input and set all of that stuff to get out of here. And then what we can do is set this so that it goes, instead of the base energy, we're going to want to, oh, this is energy tesseract, derp. Okay, the issue was the fact that, well, for some reason there is a glitch in this current version. I am definitely sure well, I'm not definitely sure, but anyways, so this is set to send and receive. And we're going to want to make sure we get as much of this fuel as possible. We'll set it so that we empty out instead, and we'll empty out all this fuel. Now, obviously, because of how the system is currently set up, this will not do. Actually, let's see what type of tesseracts we have. We do not have any liquid tesseracts currently in our possession, so we'll have to reuse the tesseract that we have over here. So we're going to have to temporarily reclaim the tesseract, or no, not reclaim it. We're going to have to switch it like so that the liquid will come out from here and go into here. There we go. And this is set to send and receive, right? Good. And we should also, no, we don't need to change the other one because this is perfectly acceptable. So now what we're going to want to do is set that other router. Let's go up. Set this other router so that it's extracting from slot 0, therefore taking everything out. And we'll get all the buckets afterwards as well, because the empty area will be that. Let's take the empty bucket. We need to get all of the empty buckets, and it looks like all the empty buckets are, well, empty. And let's see, extract from slot 0, so that'll take all the fuel buckets. It'll empty all of the fuel buckets into there, and then all of the empty buckets will go into here. Although, it seems this thing is a little fast, isn't it? A little fast for my liking. Oh, dear God. Well, I didn't think it could be this fun. And unfortunately, I can't get that, can I? There we go. Okay, so now that we got all our fuel buckets, and hopefully, you know what? The rest of these can go in here. Can we just... Nah, I guess we're gonna have to go like that. Sigh. Okay, so now that's done. Let's take that out, and we're going to need to rearrange this. Rearrange it so that do we want to do this by liquid or do we want to do this by cells? If we do it, yeah, let's do this by cells actually. Let's decompose everything that we have here, at least what we currently have set up, and this is no longer necessary, so let's get that. And what we'll do is change this setup so that we'll have energy lines as well as fuel lines, and the fuel lines are rather, well, easy to set up, and this is done. I swear these tesseracts are going to really annoy me. Okay, so what are we going to need? Yeah, some of this stuff we're not going to be able to reclaim all the fuel, But what we do need is to have a similar lattice to how we had before. But not exactly. Okay, so every 4 by 4. Let's just take all of them down, or rather most of them down. And yeah, let's take all of them down and we'll place them later. And I just remembered I need to take them from the top. Take it from the top, Jim! And also those stuff over there is going to stop going because and making these despawn would be a very bad idea, wouldn't it be? Ha! There we go. And now we just have buckets everywhere. Bucket! Or rather, just a bucket everywhere, which isn't really everywhere. But anyways, how are we going to have this? We're going to need to get liquid ducts going. And if we have a liquid duct in each of the corners, that'll keep that satiated. But we'll have it in those corners, so we can put this here instead. Now let's take that and put that there. Then we'll have the energy coming out of here. At least that's the plan. But we can only have it so ludicrous. Let's quickly get all of these out of the way before anything else bad happens. Like, oh, if I pickaxe one of these machines, I'm not going to be a happy camper. Well, I'm not much of a camper anyways, but it'll just make me, yeah, unhappy. Why do you even try? Okay, largely that's good. So now we need to place the liquid ducts, like here and here. And this will give us our nitro diesel. And pretty much the pattern for this is very freaking simple. There's actually not going to be anything there, and I know this might not be the most efficient setup, but oh well. Do we want one there? No, we are going to want to just simplify this, like so. Do we want one there? I don't know. There is no point asking, do I want one there? Do I want one there? Do I want one here? Do I want one where? Because I'm just going to probably get an inefficient setup anyways, so it's not like it matters. But it seems like every 2 needs to be one of these, like so. And then also every 2 needs to be like this. So if we keep with that pattern, we can at least get something similar, and this is starting to confuse me. Okay, I need to think of these as nodes, and they are going to need to go like that. Yeah, so that means there's a node here, but also it needs to be accessed with its energy like that. So here's one node, here's another node. It's going to need to have some liquid, like so. And here's another, nope, another node would be where? It'd be here. Not here, but let me set this up. I've noticed things generally get a bit more difficult when you have no idea what you're doing. So what we're probably going to want to do is probably have all these pipes go underground. And the reason for that is if we have them up like so, like higher, we wouldn't be able to get as many of these diesel generators down, so we're probably going to need to go dig underneath here and pretty much break everything that we can, and then just network them simply by simple means like this. Yeah. Yes, this will definitely work. This will definitely work. I have no idea what I'm doing. No, not at all. Okay, so that means just getting one there and one there. If we bring them like that, we can connect all of these together like so. And then I need to get out. Yeah, okay, so that's connected and that's connected. Connected. This isn't. But that's a simple enough thing to do. As soon as we break that, bring that in, connected and connected. Okay, so now all of these liquid ducts are connected to one system. No, they are not. Okay, now they're all connected to one system and are going to be able to give all of the goodness to it, to the system. So all we need to do are, well, 2 things. We need to change this. We cannot transpose liquid into here, actually. We're not transposing liquid in here, but we're transposing items. So we're going to need an item transposer, not even an item transposer, but rather one bit of the applied energistic system, and that's going to require an import bus. So let's go at the... What's with the squirrels? Export bus. So let's make that and hum a little ditty. We don't even need the routers, and I don't even know what the heck I said, but I suppose it sounded cool. I at least hope it sounded cool. If it didn't sound cool, well, that sucks. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to need to import into here the cells, and then we're going to need to export out. Right? Yeah. Okay, so if we put this here and this here, we can import in, and this is going to want some of the fancy little nitro diesel cells, and it'll continually try to get into it, and then we'll need to export the stuff, but then export the liquid, which is going to be the yellow. And I suppose we can put it on the bottom, since that's cool and everything. In fact, we can by just going like that. Haha! Haha! Okay, so... Oh, derp. Yeah, why didn't I put it on the bottom? I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm just too much of a derp to realize it. And it does output automatically, or automagically, so that should be good. And all we need to do is put the ME cables, which happen to be on my bar already, like so. And then we'll automatically get all of that and get the nitro diesel finally going into the system. Let's just check all of the liquid ducts. Good, 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 good. Okay, so now that that's done, we can add another layer by simply not being a doofus with that. Da, 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 and da. Hey, there we go. And we're going to need to just set them all like so. And then finally set this up so that they're all getting some liquid and are going to be able to output all of the energy that we want to the system. That's exporting, and that's exporting, and for fun, let's just play at home, kids, and add one bit more. There we go. So now all of these are starting to output energy due to liquid nitro diesel, and we have 64 cells into here. Yes, into here. And we're now only going to need to get another bus to run over. Yeah, we're going to run over a bus. We are definitely going to run over a bus. Do we have any bread? No, we do not. Do we have any wheat? We have wheat, my friends. And too bad we can't really decompose it with Tinker's Construct. Or actually, I think it's Natura that does that. Allows you to make wheat flour, then you can cook it for wheat and all that fun stuff. Okay, so that's going to get all the cells, so we won't be sucking for cells. And we should have everything at top notch. The hell, man? The hell? Okay, so the only thing that we're missing is some nice little liquid libations, which is the fancy little stuff. Fancy little stuff, yes. Fancy little stuff. Fancy seeing that here stuff. And what are we going to do? What am I even doing up here? I have no clue. Just gonna get some bread, I suppose. Throw that in. Just do a few nom-noms. And I think that's good. So we are missing one thing, and that is this, giving the proper items. So liquid transposer, the only thing we need to do is set this to fuel and stop it when we have 64 cells in the system. 64 of those nitro diesel cells. Because I'm sure that there's going to be, I don't know, how much nitro diesel can one of those hold when it's not from a cell? I'm going to say as long as we have a stack of nitrodiesel cells left in the system, we should be good. And then all we need to do is set this so that it's fuel instead. Start filling this up with fuel, and this is going to need to be receive only. Yes, it is. Okay, we set it to receive fuel. Yes, we didn't turn our fuel back on. And how's this for fuel? That's still good because it's a boiler. It's just boiling over. And we just need to reaffirm our fuel rod situation. Haha! There we go. There we go. Now we do have fuel. And it's probably going to drain the fuel rather quickly, so we are probably going to need to refine some more fuel in the future. That's not going to be too difficult to do. We just need to, well, I think we have a plethora of oil wells, if I'm not mistaken. Waypoints, dimension, going to want to check the overworld. We definitely have enough oil, let's just say that. And let's actually set that to the correct dimension again. Waypoints. There we go. Okay, so there. I think we're good to go. I think the system is good to go and is able to handle all that we need. So, I swear, if it's not Tesseracts, it's going to be freaking GregTech machines. Okay, so we got some diesel cells finally pumping into the system, or rather continuing to get pumped into the system. Let's go and throw a bunch of nitro diesel into here. And they are going to be immediately consumed by the system. Now we're going to have to see. Okay, it looks like it's going to go to 10 buckets, so that's about 400 buckets of nitro diesel in the system. Well, we're definitely going to get more bang for our buck. Like, you know, explosions and all that. Speaking about explosions, what we're probably going to want to do is, tear down this system, and we're going to need to refactor the system because in the future, as you saw before, hybrid systems like this do not work in GregTech, so we will need to modify this in the future. So what I'm thinking we might want to do, there's a few things that I'd like to do, but there's also a few things which I think is not a good idea to do. We're going to want to resume our efforts with our potion making. We probably have enough nether wart to kill all the squirrels and rabbits in here. Rabbits are probably going to repopulate themselves anyways. And I might need to find a form of pest control. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of EEPower. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. I forgot there were two suns. WayofTime here, signing off. Have a wonderful day.